All right, back, back again. Guess who's back with his friends? Yep. Okay, so we back again with another one. Failing is impossible. Failure is impossible, right? It's impossible to fail. What do I mean by that? You just cannot fail, right? In life, there's no such thing as failure. It's only success. Failure is impossible. And if you grew up in like the hood or you grew up in a ghetto or whatever, you probably have this mindset, especially if you escaped it out. Failing is impossible. The only thing is success. Failure is a stepping stone to learning. And I know a lot of people have heard this, and it's gonna sound a little bit like like revised or whatever, but it's really hard to fail, right? You can only learn, right? Why is that? It's because every single opportunity in life is different, right? I think about a few months ago, like 6 months ago, I was reading into I can't remember, like what the fuck are they called? It's like the smart. It's like the 10 most revolutionary mathematical discoveries or scientific discoveries. Like for example, Einstein's theory of relativity, E equals mc squared, which side note I'm going to side trail off for a little bit. E equals mc squared is energy equals matter multiplied by the speed of light squared, which is fucking crazy. If you understand what that means, it's fucking crazy, right? But needless to say, another crazy math theory is chaos theory, right? Since the beginning, since the Big Bang, since humans first came in to the world, chaos theory has been in effect. What does that mean? That means, for example, if you put salt and black pepper in two separate jars and then you combine the salt and the black pepper, you will never be able to separate the salt from the black pepper. Like maybe mathematically, if you go to Germany and use the freaking that big spinny thing that they have, maybe it could set the particle accelerator or whatever. Maybe that could separate it. Maybe, but like if you mix water and if you mix water and sugar, or if you mix water and syrup or whatever, those two things can never be separated again. That's chaos theory, right? Since the beginning of life, chaos theory has been in effect, right? Which means that things happen, and those things happen in so many different ways, in so many different hows, and so many different whys, and nothing can be undone, right? Which means you can only move forward in any and every situation, which means that you can never fail, because to fail is almost like a test, right? When a teacher gives you a test, the test is the test has the questions and the answers, and the teacher already thought of the answers before she gave it to you, right? So there's answers that are set in stone. So you can fail the test by the fact that you didn't have the right answers. But in life, where is the right answers? There's no right answers in life, right? Everything in life to a degree can be subjective as far as I'm concerned. If we didn't live in a society, such a conventional society where we came together and we agreed on things. Hey, we're not going to murder people. We're not going to murder each other because that's just not cool. And it's kind of hard to have a society going and run shit when every day somebody decides to murder their boss just because they didn't like them. So we're going to put laws in place. Hey, we're not going to steal. Hey, we're not going to loot. Hey, we're not going to do certain things. All of these things are conventional, right? Is it conventional? Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't think conventional is the right word I'm looking for. All of these things are rules that we follow. I don't think conventional is the right word I'm looking for. All of these things are rules that we follow, and we follow these rules simply because we want life to be easier, right? So if everything if everything was thrown through the window, right, and we were back in the Stone Ages, then everything is subjective. Nothing is right. There's no right. There's no wrong, right? So there's no room for failing because every single opportunity is a new opportunity. Even if it's an opportunity that someone else has been through, you're a different person, right? It's the same reason why, oh, maybe the other day I had razor bumps, right? And I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of razor bumps for my specific skin type. So, I can't really watch videos of white people telling me how to get rid of fucking razor bumps, nor can I watch videos of them showing me how to shave. And I'm looking at black people shaving, but some black people have different skin types than me, right? So everybody is different in a certain way, right? So there's no real way of failing in any sense of the word. You only fail when you admit and accept defeat, right? You only fail when when you give up. If you keep on going, you keep on pushing, you can make it. That's why there's so much successful people in America today, because some people just never give up to the point where they started out as something, but they found success in something else. And it doesn't matter what the fuck they found success in, because their goal was just to be successful, right? So you never really fail if you never give up. There's a saying, nothing beats a trial more than a failure. I'll say that again. Nothing beats trying more than failing, right? You can't, like, nothing beats trying more than failing. The only thing worse than trying is not. The only thing worse than failing is not trying. Sorry. The only thing worse than trying, the only thing worse than failing is not trying. Nothing beats trying more than failing. The only thing worse than failing is to not try at all. So, how do we implement this? How do we cross this bridge? How do we connect this to our lives? Well, in life, you got to always just have that mindset. This is a subconscious thing that you got to put in your mind, right? And you got to realize that things don't change overnight, things take time. So, if you want to give up drinking, or if you want to give up smoking, or if you want to get a raise, if you want to get a promotion, right? Or if you want just to make like a shit ton of money, right? You need to break your things down into small achievable goals, right? And, or if that's not your style, you're not the type to put pen to paper, you need to rewire your subconscious mind. How do you rewire your subconscious mind? Well, I can only speak based on my own experience, right? But I'm the type of person that I tell myself, like, my future self, right? I want my life to be better for my future self, for me, for the me of tomorrow, for the me of next week, for the me of next year, right? So I look at myself in the worst possible scenario in like 10 years from now. Like, if I never stop drinking, 10 years from now, what's going to be happening, right? My fucking liver is going to be fucked. So every single day in my mind, every single day of my life, whenever I think about drinking or whenever I think about smoking, I think about my liver and I think about my lungs and I think about how I'm killing them, like I'm actually murdering them. I think of it in the worst possible way. I make the pleasure or the experience of smoking, sure it's great, but I make my mental completely hate it. I force my mind into thinking that this is just murder. And even though I get pleasure from it or whatever, whatever, like I just keep on feeding to my mind that this is just horrific. I do that every single time. And that's kind of what helped me stop smoking. That and my girlfriend tried to tell me that I couldn't, which when people tell me I can't do shit, that's when I want to do it the most. Right. And then yeah, it was kind of like a combination of that, right? Telling myself that this is horrible, and then my girlfriend daring me, that kind of just pushed me over the edge, right? Sometimes we just need a push from the external source, but you have to be ready when that push comes, because that push will come. But you have to tell yourself, and you have to set your mental up, right? which is why which is why I would suggest to him, if you want to stop smoking, don't stop smoking today, because chances are you'll just hop back on tomorrow. But make yourself hate it. Make yourself absolutely hate it to a point where you're still smoking for years and years and you just hate it, and then one day something happens or something comes along, you just snap out of it, right? And you wouldn't have failed, right? Because you didn't stop smoking for those years that had passed, right? At the point where you snap out of it, you would have been successful. And all of those times that you thought you were failing, you were actually success leading up to your success. So that's what I mean by there's no way of failing. It's not possible. As long as you keep on going, the moment where you get bingo, the moment where you hit, everything before it doesn't even matter, right? So you got to look at it like that. Everything that's happening now that what I consider failing doesn't matter once I get success. Once I never give up, once I keep on going. That's why it's so hard, because it feels like you're shooting in the dark. You're looking for a needle in the haystack. You don't know what to expect. You don't know if you'll even be successful, right? You don't know whatever. But if you give up, if you tell yourself you fail, then you have actually failed. You only fail when you tell yourself you fail, right? Like, obviously, this applies to life. If you fail a test and the grades say you failed, then you kind of fail. But you still get the chance to retake the test. Oh my gosh. Needless to say, yeah, in your life, try and influence your subconscious mind as much as possible. Read up about these things because it's your subconscious that drives your conscious, that drives your will, that drives your determination, that drives everything that makes you want to do what you want to do. And ultimately, that controls your mood and how you feel and whether you're going to give up, whether you're going to keep on going, whether you're going to do whatever you decide to do. Right. So always try to feed your subconscious with positive things so that you can keep on going regardless. Okay. Anyways, oh shit, it's getting late. I gotta do my Duolingo soon. I'm gonna cut this video short. And well, I was finished talking anyways. I'm gonna cut this video short, and then if there's anything else, just let me know what you guys want to see next, and we'll talk later. Peace.